He had promised my dad that he would forever take care of me, and that he would never let anything happen to me, that he would care for his son, that he would always respect me. And at the time, my dad and I both believed him. I remember the night that I was lying in bed, and I had only about a week after my C-section. I went to get up and I felt a sharp pain in my C-section stitching area, and I had to lay back down, and of course my son is crying. So I tapped him gently on the shoulder and said, hey, you know what, I'm in a lot of pain here. And he got so angry, he pulled the covers over his head again, and he rolled over and he goes, get up and get it taken care of, because I can't stand to hear him fucking cry anymore. Damn it, I need my sleep. And I realized at that moment that I had to do whatever I had to do to get up and take care of my crying son. It was that simple. But I also realized at that moment that I was not married to a normal person. I wasn't married to somebody who wanted to be a husband or a father or a caring person in the least bit. All he cared about was literally himself and his well-being. And he woke up the next morning as though nothing were wrong. Nobody saw that but me. So it was hard to make anybody else believe that. And I didn't know what to do. I felt really stuck. So I did. I turned to my dad and I started talking to him gently about things. And he started to say, well, that's not normal. And it only got worse from that point on. We had planned to have a party for my ex's coworkers. Everyone was sitting around the fire having a great time. So I kept going out and getting the sticks to keep the fire going. And I'd got through like the 5th trip. And one of his employees said, hey, you need some help? I said, no, I'm okay. You guys enjoy yourself. I got it covered. And he whacked Randy on the shoulder as friendly and said, hey, dude, go help your wife. She's been doing everything tonight and you haven't picked up a finger. So I went, hey, Randy, could you come help me, please? And he got up and he came out to where I was, way out in the back. And he said, what the fuck do you want? And I said, maybe you could give me a hand? And that's when he said, I'm not gonna do anything of the sort. And I looked at him and I go, you know what? That is not fair. And that's when he puffed up his chest and got real big. And he came up and he bumped me like a guy in a bar would. Just like that. And I went, And I backed up a little bit and I said, okay, you know what? You get your way. Go ahead and sit down. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And he bent down and picked up a stick and he whung it underhand at me, whacked me in my back. And I went, whoa, what just happened? He goes, you're stupid. The stick fell from the tree and hit you in the back. So I did it again. I turned around slowly and I said, I'm gonna walk away. And he picked up the stick and he did another underhand wing and got the back of my leg, and it actually cut me, bruised me, and became bleeding and the whole thing. And that's when I turned around and I said, now I'm calling the police. He goes, if you call the police, I will hurt you further. And I didn't do that. That was another stick that fell from the tree. You need to take your medicine. And I went over, my mom saw me and she grabbed my arm. She goes, I saw the whole thing. I said, oh, thank God. Woke up that morning and I went to the phone and I called my dad and I said, well, Dad, did Mom tell you? And he said, yep. And I said, how do you feel? What should I do? He goes, well, get out. I said, but I don't have any money, Dad. What do I do? How do I do this? He goes, I'm here for you every step of the way. Get out. Here's my debit card. Here's my PIN number. Go get what you need. I gotcha. I'll come get you if you want me to. I said, no, I can get over it. My car's, I'm good. I can get there. And I remember thinking to myself how proud I was first to have such an amazing father. Sorry. I lost my dad last year and I just miss him. What a wonderful man he was, and how did I pick somebody for my husband who was so not my dad?
It's very important for nonviolent men to be involved in the process of changing the domestic violence culture that's in this country, because, we bear the responsibility. He sees through the same lens as the batterer, but he makes the right choices.
And that's when I went to the courthouse to try and figure out how do I take care of this myself. And I sat on a bench outside the Saving Grace room. And a lovely woman came out and said, "Are you okay?" And she showed me the ways to do these things that I needed to do. And I had this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And it was this beautiful little angel. She was my saving grace.
We always talk about what healthy relationships look like. There are plenty of men out there that know how to behave in respectful ways. Most women don't trust their choices. And so a lot of the work is to help them identify what healthy, respectful relationships look like and heal from the trauma of the abuse so that they can move on forward.
Most of the resource and advocate organizations for victims of domestic violence consist mostly of women. Well, men, that should tell us something. We're not involved enough, and we need to be involved.
Men are stepping up to solve this problem too.
The men who are brave and courageous and strong enough to do that, it's a totally different kind of strength. It's not a strength that comes from power over. It's an internal strength that comes from flexibility and self-awareness. If they're willing to do that, then those are the kinds of people who can have great influence over younger men, boys.
Domestic violence is a community issue. I'm Craig Walker, football coach at Bend High School, and I am the community. I pledge to stand up against domestic violence by promoting healthy relationships amongst the students in my class by using my family as an example.
I'm Mike Hollern. I'm president of Brooks Resources, and I am the community. I do not tolerate domestic violence, and I pledge to make sure that people understand we're not just talking about physical abuse, but emotional abuse as well.
My name is Eric Bush. I'm the police chief of the city of Prineville, and I'm a brigadier general in the Oregon Army National Guard, and I am the community. And I pledge to do everything in my personal and professional life to demonstrate to everybody around me that I do not tolerate domestic violence.
I am Luis Alcala with Tensility, and I am the community. Not many people have experienced a physical abuse, but everybody has experienced a relationship where there was verbal abuse, and everybody thinks of that as normal. And it's important to understand that it's not normal. And create an environment where it's free of those tactics is what we should strive for.
I'm Keith Shipman, President and CEO of Horizon Broadcasting Group, and I am the community. I do not tolerate domestic violence, and I pledge to do everything I can to eradicate it from our community by shining a light on this issue.